I've recorded this video like 17 billion times. I never have a clever introduction, and I don't have one now, so let's just jump right into it. The little situationship that I was in that had me out here screaming, all stressed out, all upset, hair falling out. Hair wasn't falling out. The one that had me feeling some type of way, the last few videos, is over. Surprise, surprise, who would have guessed this, right? Oh wait. I guessed this.
I just don't feel like secure with them at all. I feel as though if I do something wrong, I feel as if I just feel they can leave at any moment because they literally have left at any moment prior.
That it wasn't necessarily like my decision to end it. Once again, it was the other person's decision to end it. And that's one of the things that has us fucking furious. Emotionally, mentally, like all of it, it's just like fucked up. It's been consuming my life for the past 3 weeks because that's when it started. And I've just been kind of obsessed. And it's not obsession in the way of my last breakup, my last actual real breakup with another person, like 3 years ago. It's not like I'm depressed and sad and like just like, y'all, I was crying on here doing videos and y'all didn't say nothing. Y'all had me looking a hot mess. But like, it's not like that. I'm upset because I feel like I was manipulated. I feel like I am still being manipulated. I feel like things just do not make sense. And because they do not make sense logically, I am stuck on them. And the whole thing doesn't make sense. And when I say the whole thing does not make sense, I'm also relating and talking about the reasoning why they left. Like, in my mind, it's all quite simple, and I don't understand why all of a sudden they decided that, unless they're lying and they don't like me, understand why all of a sudden it's just like, can't do this, nope. It does not make any sense. So it's anger, confusion, and that kind of comes together and makes hurt. I'm hurt. Super hurt. Like, I am very hurt. Does hurt mean the same thing as sad? I don't know. So I'm going to start with sort of the anger and talk about what happened and what I'm actually angry about and what I'm having a hard time letting go. I'm upset. Less so right now in this very moment. Like, it comes in waves, and it's like if you have bipolar disorder, if you have ADHD, if you have like that type of fury, it comes in waves and it comes up very fast, no warning, and then I'm just like, Ugh! So this is what happened. I'm upset because this person has left each and every single time. I'm not sure if it's something that their trauma is doing. I don't know what the fuck it is, but I don't understand why they keep coming back, and I don't understand why they keep leaving. What I do know, though, is that every single time that they've left, it seems as though, and this is from my point of view, I'm not saying it's true, but to everyone else's point of view as well, it seems like they're leaving because they just getting too much. It's becoming too much. I'm becoming too much for them. It's becoming an inconvenience, and they just don't want to be held accountable. That's what it seems like, and it's that they enjoy hanging out with me as something fun. They don't want to be attached to me in the sense of expectations, or they don't want to be held accountable for certain things. Accountable for being like, I guess when you're in a relationship, what are you accountable for? You're accountable for not someone's feelings, but like, they don't want to be accountable for anything. That's just, they want to be hands off. And this is why I feel this way. This is why I think this way. And this is why I'm angry, because it's just like, you don't like me. You've never liked me. And it makes sense because I don't understand why you've come back. You've never really expressed why you like me. Like, this was all just manipulation in a game. Back in June, when we stopped talking, mind you, we stopped talking for like 6 months. From June to November, we didn't really talk. June of 2022 to November of 2022. We didn't talk. We talked like very, very little. Like, I checked in with them like 3 times. They would respond to my text messages, number one, like days in between, 1 to 3 responses, like kind of just like bullshit responses, which they ended things back in June by saying we have different communication styles. They're not ready for a relationship, and they don't think that I'm ready for a relationship. Now, mind you, leading up to that event, the event being them actually telling me I don't want to do this, them deciding, leading up to their decision, it came after a time when I was angry at them. And that's the pattern here. I've essentially presented to them each time something that I have problems with. And the problem is that I don't feel like a priority around this person. I've never felt like a priority with this person. Well, not never, but for the most part, that's what I've been talking about on here. Like, this person does not make me a priority. I do not feel like a priority. I feel like I have to pull teeth to see them, to talk to them, to do any, like, I feel like a side hoe. That's what I feel like. And for example, last time, having talked from November to June, it's like, okay, we're not official yet. That's weird, but fine. Like, we're taking it slow. But at the same time, like, we're not seeing anybody else. We're not fucking anybody else. We're only seeing each other. We're seeing each other multiple times a week. Like, bitch, listen. I need to have some, like, I need to set some expectations. I want to talk to you. I want to hang out with you. And I don't want to hang out with you. When I say hang out with you, I don't want to hang out with you in the home, inside our homes. I mean, yes, I do, but not all the time. I want to go on dates. I want those dates to be like during the fucking like daylight. I'm not an owl. I don't want you coming over here at just 10 p.m. I don't want you coming over here just to sleep and then leave the next day at 8 a.m. And it's like all of these things made me feel like a side hoe. A big problem that I've had with them and that presented itself last June was that I always saw them doing things differently with their friends than they would do with me. And what I mean by that is that obviously there's different relationships, but usually I had called them one day, but I was super stressed out. I was having anxiety. I had to I was in the process of moving, right? And I told them like, hey, I'm fucked. Like can I see you tonight? I want to like just have some cuddle time, some chill time. I need some support. Like this shit sucks. They said no. They said, as they normally do, this is normally their excuse. They said, I need to go to bed. I'm tired, blah, 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 which I've been trying to understand. And I'm trying to understand giving people their space, giving people their time, giving people people need their shit. Like they're like giving people that and understanding it and not taking that personally. That's sort of like a personal work or personal goal of mine. I'm living with developmental trauma and a lot of complex trauma. And basically I have attachment trauma and attachment issues where, like, let's say 5-6 years ago, if this person would have responded by saying no to me when I had asked them to just spend time with them when I wasn't doing great, I would have taken that very personally and been like, okay, so you just don't care about my well-being. You hate me, like, obviously, because I'm having a very bad day right now, and you're not even hearing my bad day, and like, I would have taken it very personally. Instead, I still took it personally, I think, but I didn't bring it up to them, and that's with anything. Like, it's honestly so unfortunate, but I have this physical reaction or this weird feeling of abandonment no matter what. I have this weird feeling of abandonment no matter who it is, no matter what's happening. Like, whenever there's a loss or a sensory loss or seemingly there's some type of loss, someone cancels plans, someone doesn't text me back, someone says they can't do something for me, like, it's kind of like ow, that kind of hurt a little bit. And I don't really know how to fix that, but I do know how to not act on it in the sense that I've become very good at self-regulating myself and learning how to self-regulate, because in high school, we wasn't so great. And that happens with various intensities and various degrees. For instance, this time when this person was saying, like, I can't hang out, I could brush that off. The breakup that's happening right now, we're trying. For the aside, back to the story. They said no. They said they need to go to sleep. They said they need to prepare for the next day and that we could hang out the following day. They would make dinner and it would be something cool, special, whatever. But like, basically, bitch, no, you can't come over. I was like, okay, sure, with reluctance and with hesitation and with confusion, because it's this thing that this person does often. They say that they're going to bed at like 8 p.m. And it's like, okay, but no one goes to bed at 8 p.m. Like, it's, and when I say they're going to bed at 8, when I say that they say they're going to bed at 8 p.m., like, was one of the main excuses that they used all of the time, like all of the time. But my work is to trust people when they say things and to like just bring it in and say it's okay. It's okay. Fast forward that night, they said they're gonna call me. They never do. I reach out and they're like, "Oh, sorry, I'm on the phone with a different friend." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. Like, what's going on?" And this all builds up to the fact that their friend ends up. They say that their friend is coming over now. I'm like, okay, your friend that you were talking to on the phone is now coming over. Cool, I guess. That means you can't talk to me. Fine. You can't even text. Like, they couldn't even text me. It was like radio silence. So I was already feeling some type of way, trying to self-regulate myself, trying to tell myself it's okay. And then I find out that they're going out to a bar. They're going out. And it's like, in my mind, that's when I completely just exploded, because I'm like, okay, so, like, do you care about me? Because, and that's when the anger kind of set in at that time. I literally, like, asked you if I could just hang out with you tonight in a chill setting at your place, very chill, but you said you needed because you're going to work tomorrow and that you needed to, like, go to bed, whatever, blah, 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 some bullshit. And now you're going out to bars with friends saying that you were kidnapped. And I literally just talked to you a few days ago about feeling like a priority and about feeling like how I don't get to do things with you and I don't get this side of you. This is literally a slap in the face. I don't care that you're out with friends, but it's I can't get you to do shit. I can never get you to do shit. And using sleep as your explanation or your excuse every single time. So what's different about this? How did your friends get you out? How are you not sleeping? Like, how did this happen? And on top of all of that, why are you mad at me? Because when I got mad at them, they then got mad at me. And it's like, why are you mad at me when you said you understood all of this and where I was coming from and that you would be better at doing it, like you would be better at working on it. And it's just like, what the fuck happened? And it's after that that they ended things, which is exactly what happened this time. Same scenario, them being out with friends, me being upset, me bringing it to their attention, and them being like, can't do this. Honestly, I wasn't really upset at all because I had gotten so good at self-regulating myself to the point where if they forget to text me back, if they forget to if they forget whatever, blah, 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 it's whatever. Who cares? They're out with friends, they're having fun. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I noticed that they were still awake because their phone was not on Do Not Disturb. Like, they were like just now getting back home, like the location being shared. Like, they weren't in bed. So I texted them and thinking like, since this person never seems to understand what I'm talking about in terms of them making me a priority or not making me a priority rather, let me text them right now in this scenario, not as evidence, but like as evidence in the sense that they genuinely do not understand. Let me genuinely text them and be like, hey, this is an example. I'm not like really upset. And I told them this, like, I'm not upset, but do you see how I might be upset and how this might look to me? The look being that it's 2 a.m., they're out with friends, and the night before all of this, I could not even get them to call me. Like, it's 11 p.m., and I had to literally beg them to call me for a 30-minute conversation. So their attention, and I was like, how are your friends? Like, are your friends begging you to go out? Like, why can't I get this side of you? And I'm not mad in this case at this very moment, but I am questioning, like, do you see why I would be upset? Because I literally ask you all the time to come over to my place, to just stop by to say hi, give me a hug, like, and you work 5 minutes down the street. I can walk to their workplace. They have to pass my place to get home. But at the same time, on a work night, they can go out with friends and be out all hours of the night. And it's just, I don't think I've ever been out with you past 2 a.m., let alone be out with you. Like, we don't do that. It mimicked what happened in June. And it was very much just like, it felt like I was on the back burner of things. And that's how it's always felt with this person. Not always, but it would come in waves. Sometimes I wouldn't be at the end of their stick. And then other times I would be. But it was the severity to which they would just kind of throw me or toss me back. This being one of them, in the sense that, like, when I say I had to beg them, y'all, like, I had to beg them. Like, I had to ask several times. There was one time, I think a few days before this, they had some Coca-Cola, like some Cokes, in the back of their trunk, and I knew this, and I asked them to drop them off to my place because I was craving sugar. And I literally had to beg them to do that. Like, just to drop off Coca-Cola. And it's like, damn, bitch, if you can't, like, if you do not have the time, if you're too tired, if you're too busy at work to, like, just not even drop off Coca-Colas as you drive past here, just toss them out the window, bitch. Like, just toss them. I'll grab them. Like, it was so hard to get them here. And then on top of that, like, when they would get here, they'd be like, I'm tired. We'd spend an hour together, and it's like, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. It would always, we never stayed up all night. We never, like, it just never happened. And, like, the fucking examples can go on forever and ever and ever and ever. The point is that I accepted all of this and I believed them when they gave me their explanations because I'm sure a lot of it's true. I know that they need time to wind down. I know that their job is stressful. I know all of these things. But again, things can be like, you can make things, you can get the shit done. And I know this because I've seen them like do it. I've seen them literally choose to go hang out with friends. Weird that they were going out like and doing things with friends, never asking me, not once asking me if I should join them. I met one of their friends, one. They've met all of my friends, basically. And for them to also know that I want to spend more time with them, know that I'm asking for these things. I'm like literally asking them, and I have to remind myself that I've done this by going through text messages like, nope, I've asked this. Or at the very least, can you like text me back? Can we have like normal text conversations? I felt like I was getting angry and I was focused on a lot of small shit. I don't want to see you every single day. I don't want to talk, like I don't need to talk to you 24/7. Like I want to be able to do my own thing. If I did not ask them when I would see them, if I did not propose a date, if I did not text them, like then there would be no relationship. I'm very confident because it was never initiated from their side. And what kept me with them and working with them and working on this with them was that they had an explanation. It wasn't just always I'm tired or my job is a lot. It was that their trauma and their way of thinking and their way of organizing the world. Which again, I 100%, I still believe that, but it's like, to what extent? Because after so many times that something's a pattern, and after me pointing it out point blank, you either fix it or you don't. And in this case, they didn't, and they left. Last time mimics what happened the first time. And while in June they had said, you know, I'm not ready for a relationship, we have different communication styles, and then this time they said, I just don't trust you and I'm not willing to trust you. It's come after I've gotten really upset at them. And it's become when I've met them with a certain level of emotion where I'm just like, what is wrong with you? Like, why don't you get this? Because I'm pissed off. When I've confronted them with like, hey, you said you understood this, but now you're acting this way and you're doing this way. What's going on? Like, why aren't you acting right? They've then met me with anger. And it's been confusing because it's like, wait, what did I do? Like, why are you mad at me? And they've said the most, like, their anger is they shut down and then they become very cold and like almost nasty in a sense. And a lot of it is my own hypersensitivity. Like, I'm super hyper aware and like super hypersensitive, and I'm super sensitive to language, and a lot of it is me, but also a lot of it's just like disrespect from them. It's like, you did not see my feelings, especially with all my attachment trauma and all that bullshit, like, let alone that. You didn't see me as a priority in any situation, in any of these situations. I have to reemphasize this last time. I literally, the day before, was like, could barely get them to stay on the phone with me. So to see them out at 2 a.m. out, like, with people, and then to have them get mad at me when I bring it up. Like, I prefaced the whole conversation saying, I'm not mad at you. You probably just forgot. Like, oh, it's just whatever. But in the future, this probably would make me more upset. Like, do you see why I would be upset about it? Like, trying to like come to them very level-headed compared to the last time, and for them to go so angry. In the sense that, like, I asked them if they were drunk, because I was like, bitch, are you drunk? Because this shit is weird. It was like so random, and it was like, I said, and I said pause. I was like, pause, wait a minute, like, maybe we should have this conversation in person, because like right now, you're not making any sense. Like, you literally, what you're saying, like, you're aggressive for no reason. To the point where they even literally said, they referred to my text messages about my feelings as whatever this is. They were like, what are you sending me all these messages for? Like, why are you telling me all this? Like, what? It's 2:00 in the morning. Why are you coming to me with this? And I said, well, I'm not. I'm trying to, like, I'm really putting a pin in this and setting it up for tomorrow. I'm saying we should talk about it later. I'm just saying this so that you're reminded about it. And they basically said, I don't care. Because I told them, like, hey, watch out what you're saying, because you're talking about, these messages are my feelings. I said that verbatim. I'm like, these messages are, like, how I'm feeling right now. They're valid, like, don't, like, watch what you're saying. And they didn't care. So in my mind, I go back through, like, the reasons they gave for why they can't do this. It's like, we have different communication styles. You're just now learning this after 6 months. Okay, I guess. But is that because I said that I didn't want to tell you why I was mad, because you should have known, because we just talked about it? That's, like, really the catalyst. You're leaving because I got mad at you. And then this last time, it's like, oh, I don't trust you enough. Like, what don't you, like, number one, I know it's not me. It's their own stuff. I knew this. Like, I don't trust you either, bitch. I thought you was going to leave, and you did. So I was right not to trust you in that sense. I had my guard up for a reason. I cared about these stupid things for a reason, because you left. Like, they made it seem like they were going above and beyond for the things that they were doing for me. Very simple things. Calling me, seeing me, taking time to see me, even though they would come here at like 8 p.m. and then go to sleep. It's like, that is not above and beyond. You're not doing anything. It's like, you did not plan and take vacation and we went to France, bitch. That's not what's happening. But at the same time, they made it always seem like they were doing so much. So I'm angry in the sense that I believed, like, they did do a lot though. But like, I'm just confused. I'm so confused. My head is so confused and I don't know what to believe. And it doesn't matter anymore. It's over. None of this matters. But my mind wants to conceptualize it and understand what the fuck just happened.